Hi guys, welcome to this episode. I'm going to, on request, take you through the mechanics, first of all, of a Dreadball slam, and secondly, how to make your slams more effective. A sort of Dreadball Slam Academy, or Slam Academy. So, as you can see, we've got set up, we've got the Judwan defending the goalpost with their strikers, and the Void Sirens are wanting to hurt slam one of the Judwan. Instead of averaging out the dice rolls, which probably would have been better to show the mechanics, I'm just going to actually roll them just to show that it does work regardless of my poor luck. So first of all, I'll show you how a slam is done. We've got two player rolls can make the slam. We've got the jack here and the guard. With the strikers, they cannot slam; they'll be dodging, and the Judwan are now average stats at it, as the humans are average at slamming and escaping. So first of all, the jack, she is allowed to move one hex to make hers. Everything in Dreadball starts off with a 3 dice baseline, so that will be a 3 dice to slam. She also gains 1 dice for the momentum of rushing in there. The Judwan, who will be dodging, starts off with 3 dice again. However, he gains 1 dice because of the agility of him being a striker. So let's see how this slam works out. If I can keep them all on the screen, it'll be good. So, there's 2 sixes. Sixes in Dreadball are exploding, so they allow you to roll again. So, 2 sixes, 2 ones. So, in all fairness, that's a 50-50 average. That's exactly what it should be, really. Judwan dodging away. Now the Judwan have actually got 4 successes. So what they've actually done there is they have doubled the humans, Void Sirens. So doubling on a dodge means they're allowed to move 1 square anywhere adjacent to where they previously were. So through the Judwan's good luck, they avoided that slam. But even still, I mean, their dodge stat of 4+, or their speed stat of 4+, matches the human slam stat of 4+. So it's an even fight. So to be honest, it's not how we should be slamming, really. But let's reset that. So I'll leave the Judwan's dice there because he's always going to be dodging. Now I've got the guard. She's allowed to do a full run into her slam. She gets the full move. She gets her 3 dice. She gains her 1 dice for the momentum of running in there. She also gets another dice because she's a guard. She's used to doing all these slams. So let's see what she can get. Now that's a lot better. She's got 2 sixes, 2 fives and a 1, so we'll re-roll 2 sixes. And she has got 5 results. Judwan, who's going to be dodging away with his 4 dice, because he's still a striker, he's still agile. He's got 2 so far, 1 being a 6 at the back, 2 a 3 and a 1. So let's reroll. So he's got 3. So we've beaten the Judwan. We haven't doubled him though. So we do get to push him back though into any of these 2 squares, because that one's taking up obviously. So it's any of the squares directly away from the slam, facing the way you came. And the guard would then get to choose whether she wants to follow up or not. So not a bad slam, but not the greatest way we could have done this slam. So let's reset the pitch again. So the way we should be doing our slams, or the philosophy of SOS, support our slams, is for every supporting player that's putting a threat hex onto the slamee loses a dice for their dodge roll. So let's now see if we actually set up this slam perfectly. That should suddenly appear to be an orange smear on the pitch. So first of all, we move our striker in. She can do that quite happily. She's fine to put a threat hex on. Yes, she can't slam, but she's there to put the threat hex on. Irregardless of this guy here, because he's not part of this slam, she's still including her threat hex on this slam. So then we put the jack in there. Doesn't matter where he goes to put that, where she goes to put that fret hex, but she's going to go for the front arc for the sake of ease. So that's 2 fret hexes on her, on the Judwan now. Then we run in with the guard. So we still get our 3 dice normal, 1 dice running in, and 1 dice being in for a guard. As you can see, none of our friends are helping our slam. What they will actually do is they will hinder the Judwan's response. So the Judwan would start with 3 dice and gain 1 for being a striker. Now this is where the fret hexes come into it. Because these 2 are helping out, they lose a single dice for each fret that's been caused. Now, just looking at the average stat, we should be doubling him this time. So, let's roll the guard's dice. Pretty poor. 1. Okay, I can't really fault that one. And the Judwan naturally rolls a 6 and a 4. So he's actually doubled it. So, other than bad dice rolling, we can't really save that. So, for the sake of completeness, I'll incinerate these dice. Bring 5 more fresh on. Let's see if I can actually get it better. Just to show that it does work in practice. So 3 so far, with a reroll, 2 rerolls. 4. So we've actually finally hurt the Judwan. So we've doubled it. So we get to push him back into any of the 2 spaces, put him down, and we can still follow up if we wish to. Okay, so now we would, because we've doubled it, we actually could physically hurt the Judwan now. And we take, negating the 2, because they obviously, he's dodged 2 and he's hit 2, so we negate that. That leaves the humans, the Void Sirens, with 2 wins over the Judwan. So he now has to roll his armor checks. Back to the 3 dice mechanic of using 3 dices. The only difference to the armor rolls is for guards and keepers, whereas guards would get an extra dice to their roll, so they'd be on 4 dice. Keepers would get the 4 dice because they're a souped up guard, essentially. So, because we're a striker, yes, we took the nimbler armor, so we're a bit more agile, but we're also a bit more dainty. So we need 5s of a Judwan. So we've only got 1 success, so we'd actually be out now for 1 turn. As you can see, by supporting the slam as best as possible, we've actually got the best possible result. I mean, the poor dice didn't help it, but we've took the Judwan out there, and we've still got a move we could do with this. We've cleared that area to then carry on with our slams. If we'd have done it with the jack, we'd have been 1 dice less, so, you know, where it's possible, always get your guard slamming, always support it, even with 1. Say for instance, if we were slamming a guard, we would try and do it from the back, so they have to dodge, because otherwise they would just slam back, which I will quickly go through in 2 seconds. So here we go. We've now brought on a different fight. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, Teratons are nasty. So the Teraton is now going to initiate the slam. So he's a jack, he moves in his 1. So he would get his 3 dice, and he would gain 1 more for moving in from an adjacent square. The human guard would have her 3 dice, and she would gain 1 for being a jack, for being a guard. She hasn't moved in, but she would gain 1 just for being a guard. She's used to these slams. The difference being this time is the Teraton needs 3s up. So he's got 3 so far with a reroll. 4. Human is going to choose to slam back, which he would do, needing 4s. So that's 2 so far with a reroll. 3. So I'll be pushed back on that occasion. Not a great slam due to the lack of support, but it's the ability of the 3 up which helped the Teraton out. Now if we reverse the guard down and do the same slam, back to the 4 dice. Now the Siren's only got 3 dice because he has to dodge. It's not too much of an issue for the humans because of their 4 up stat across the board. But other races such as, for instance, the Teratons are pretty immune to it, but the Forge Fathers are hindered by it. Their slow speed gives them a 5-up dodge. I mean, if we go through that again, 3 so far with a reroll, 3, now we need to dodge, 2, so we just pushed her back. But say we injured her, I'll just show you the resilience of guard armour, and we've injured her for, we'll say 2 turns. We start off with 3 dice, and we gain 1 for being a guard. Just off the cup bar there, so that's 2 so far, 1 of them being a reroll. We've actually only needed to save 2, but as you can see we've got 3 there. I mean, hurting a guard is pretty tricky unless you start supporting them and really doubling, trebling, quadrupling their results. So that's all I've got for this episode. I hope that was helpful for people that are needing to really get the oomph behind their slams. Thank you very much.